Hey everyone, it's laurelbeard here, and I have something super fun for you today. 5 quick and easy fall cards that are gonna make you feel all warm and cozy inside. I know it's not fall yet, but we're hoping, right, for anybody in those hot climates? Let's talk ink blending, heat embossing, layered stenciling, layered stamps, but don't worry, I'm keeping it stress-free as always. No need to break out any high dollar items. Use what you have. I also have put together a free color palette workbook packed with color combos and even Catherine Pooler ink suggestions so you can nail that perfect autumn vibe. You're going to want to grab that, so I'll link it below in the description for you. So are you ready to make some fall cards? Let's get to it. So let's get started. Now I'm working off of something new. It's an Altenew grip mat. Has little dots on it so I can actually line my card up perfectly, but I also have a glass mat underneath, so that's helping too. But that's what I'm working off of. You do not need this. And then I'm going to start blending, not very neatly, as you can see, these colors, and I'm going to use these same colors throughout all the cards. I'm not adding any other colors, not even black or white. Seriously. So I'm going in with whatever blending brushes I have. I have a whole hodgepodge. I got Amazon, I got Catherine Pooler, I got Waffle Flower, I got Picket Fence, I got scrapbook.com, I got makeup brushes. Whatever you have, that works. Blended all of those colors together, and then I'm going to spritz on some water. So I'm going to put water in my hand and then flick it on. I'm going to water flick it, people. And I love all those water droplets, but it also kind of blends all the blending together. So then I'm going to go ahead and do a second one. And this time I'm going to swink right on to the paper. Swink. Do you know what that is? I made that word up. I love it. Have a whole video on swinking. But it's basically ink swiping and inking together, and thus swinking was born. So here you go, 2 totally different looks, one a little bit more muted from the blending, one very vibrant from going ahead and swinking direct to your paper. That's it. Bada bang, bada boom. All right, so let's go ahead and make our first card. I'm going to use my Misty stamping tool. This is a stamp I've had in my stash for a long time. You know I am all about use what you have on the channel. I don't know even if this is a stamp that's available, but it doesn't matter. Use whatever you have in your stash. But I'm going to do some multi-inking here, and that's why I'm using my Misty stamping tool, because I get perfect impressions every time. So I went ahead and stamped 2 different color greens on the first card, and now I'm going to do it again on the second card. These are peonies, by the way, in case you're wondering. I love peonies. They're so pretty. But then once they bloom, they're like done for the entire year. So there's that, but they're still pretty. I'm really getting into flowers lately. So here is a look. So I basically used the same colors, inked it up, and I'm going to sprinkle on some clear, super fine embossing powder. All right. Now I'll go ahead and heat set it, and that's just going to melt the color in place. And it also kind of, I don't know, it kind of darkens it a little bit and then gives it a little shine and dimension. So that's why I chose to go this route. You could have left it as is with just the inking and totally bypassed this step. But this just took a couple minutes, not a big deal, and I really like how it looks. And once your heat tool gets good and warmed up, you can heat as fast as that. You can heat set it. No, I'm kidding. This is on a fast speed. But the key is to let your heat tool heat up, and then it'll melt the embossing powder evenly throughout your card. All right, so now I got to do a sentiment here. So I don't have any color cardstock that matches, so I'm just going to create my own with the ink colors that I used on the card. I am just creating my own color cardstock. By the way, you can do this. Hack. No need to buy lots and lots of color cardstock. You can make your own with your ink pads. All right, this is a stamp set from Concord and Ninth. It is called More to Say. So I'm going to go ahead and use my favorite glue of all time, Barely Art glue, and I'm going to make my own little sentiments here. So you just glue them on. I like liquid glue because you can kind of finagle. You see how I'm finagling that? Thanks. You can kind of move it around and get it in place before it dries. Love the precision tip. I have had this bottle. This is my original bottle. Got it when I lived in New York. That was 4 or 5 years ago, and it's still going strong, and it doesn't clog because of that precision tip, and you put the needle in the top. So I'm going to pop this sentiment up with some foam tape. The other one I just glued down flat, and check this out. 2 fall cards. Oh no, I didn't lay it down flat. I'm a big fat liar, aren't I? I'm going to pop that up with some double-sided tape too. And now we've got 2 fall cards. It's not fall yet, but man, sometimes these hot days, I'm wishing it's the fall. Whew. So here's a look at these 2 cards, all done using the same ink. All right, let's do a little layering stencil technique. This is, what's it called? In the Forest, I think. Hold on, I have it right here. In the Forest layering stencils from Catherine Pooler. And you can go ahead and create your own forest, right? How fun is this? So I'm using these little mini ink blending dauber things. These are from Altenew. These are good to get into tight little spaces. For the first couple of stencils, honestly, I could have used one of the bigger blending brushes that I used at the beginning of the video, and this would have gone by a lot faster, but I didn't think about it. And I'm trying to label all of these tools as I use the ink color. And so far I've only labeled like 7 of them. So I really need to start using these up so I can get them all labeled by color. So each of my little blending brushes will have a color that I will only use with that blending brush. You feel me? All right, let's move on. So I got the first round down, peel that sucker up, go on into the second one, line it up, and start blending. Now, she does have directions on how to layer these up, but I did not need the directions because I was able to do it, which means if I can do it, you can do it. All right, because I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, I got to tell you. And I'm also pretty lazy when it comes to creating my cards. So all the fun things that maybe require 1900 steps, you're not going to see here on my channel. It's just, I don't feel like you need, you know, an engineering degree. I don't think you need any of those things when you're creating cards. You also don't need to know what a histogram is. Do you know what a histogram is? That is something my daughter, who's in 6th grade, she came home with some homework. She's like, I got to do this histogram. Well, what's that? You know, it's been quite a few years since I've been out of school, but I don't know that word. So I looked it up, and it's a graph. It's a bar graph. Why can't you just call it that? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, moving on. We're almost down to the almost the final stencil. Now you can go in with different colors here. You see how I did 2 different colors here? You can go a little crazy with your colors. And now I'm going to go in and add the little branches or the little twigs or whatever. This is a very forgiving stencil too. So if it's not perfectly lined up, it's okay. It's fine. Don't knock yourself out over it. It's fine. So now I'm going to figure out what to do here for my sentiments because I already went ahead and die cut that whole die cut set. So I've got a lot of little sentiments to work with, but I decided I just didn't want to use that shadow background. So I just went ahead and colored that sentiment with the Cargo ink. And I'm going to, we got a little close here. Got to back that up. And I'll go ahead and add little dots here and there with my favorite glue. This glue and the large double-sided flat glue from scrapbook.com are the only glues I have. I don't have no runners. I don't have no HDG thing. Nothing is just too big. This is it. This is all I got. All right, so sometimes, here's how you put the needle back in. Just thought I'd show that there for some reason. I also use the bottle to hold the glue down in place. And once it's dry, it's set. It ain't moving. You got to be committed. But I like that because it's the liquid glue. You have a little wiggle room if you need it. So here's a look at this fun tree background. Now you can use this all seasons with your colors. All you got to do is just decide what color you want to go with and you can get a totally different look. All right, let's move on to the next card here. This is a big, huge high stamp. I have it also in front of me. What do you call it? It's from Concord and 9th, and it's called Triple Step High Stamp Set with a coordinating die. So this is a layering stamp set, and I just love these big, this is it, high. Here's your focal point of your card. This is all you need, and you're going to get it all done by stamping it with some ink. So the first layer, I'm just going to stamp on some colors. Now, when you're doing layering stamps, I would suggest you go from light to dark. So I went with Sage first. Look how pretty this is. It's actually quite pretty on its own, right? You could just leave it there and let and not do the other 2 layers, and you'll just have those white foliage. Now I went in with Spruce around the edges to add a little bit of shading. And then if you have a really harsh line, you can go back over with your lighter color and kind of blend it out as I did here. So just adding 2 colors really gave some dimension to that right there. And I think that's pretty without even moving forward. And I'll be honest with you, when I first stamped this, I didn't even notice the 2 other stamps. I was going to leave it like that and move forward. And I'm like, oh, there's layering stamps. I'm like, okay. So just line that up. And because I'm using the Misty stamping tool, I'll get perfect placement every time. So I can do double, triple, quadruple stamping. If I don't ink up my stamp the first time real good, I can do it again. As long as I don't move the card and as long as I don't move the stamp, I'm good. I'm good. See here, I didn't get perfect. I didn't ink it up all the way. So now I did, and now I'm good. And I just clean my stamps with a microfiber cloth and water, by the way. That's it. Nothing fancy, good old fashioned H2O. All right, so I'm gonna line up that final stamp there. And again, I'm trying to use only the same ink colors throughout all the cards. We're gonna have a same color palette, but obviously do what you wanna do. Whatever floats your boat. But all these colors work fantastic together, I have to say. So then here I am doing the same thing, adding a little dimension with a little darker color. See there, light to dark, light to dark, light to dark. You get it. And then there you go. There's your card. And it comes with some coordinating dies. Now the die outlines the whole high like this, but it also has 3 dies where you can cut out the inside too. So you can cut out the 2 images from the H and also the I, but I'm not doing that. I'm just doing high. I'm pretty happy with the one stamp with the outline. I'm good to go. The little dot, the little, what do you call that thing? Hold on. The little tipple. That's not right. The little tinkle. That's not right. Tittle. It's called a tittle. The dot to the I is a tittle. Anyway, that cuts out too. All right, so for my card base, I'm just going to add some scored lines here. I have a scored board, but you can also use the little stylus or your bone folder and use the line in your paper trimmer as well if you want to create scored lines. But I have a little gadget here, so I'm going to use it. But if you have a paper trimmer, use that. You know, I'm all about using what you got. Look around, see if you can make your own scored lines. And now I've got this scored background, can't tell yet, but I'm going to do some little ink blending with the darker ink here, just going around the edges. I'm trying to be a little heavy-handed when I first go down so the edges are a little bit darker and then lighten up as I blend into the cardstock. Always work off your paper on. You know who's a good ink blender is Ardith. She's fantastic with ink blending. She has a lot of patience. I don't have that kind of patience. So then I'm going to go around the edges, just darken it up a little bit more. And here I'm like, oh, you know what? Duh, this does not fit. This is too crowded. So I got to turn my card. Luckily, the scored line still works. I'm still good with that. But I should have known that from the beginning. So I'm just going to keep on moving forward. So here you can pop your high up if you want to with some foam dimension. And it creates this fun little shadow because it's raised a little bit. Or you can glue it down flat, which obviously I'm doing here. And I got to put on my tittle. Don't forget the tittle. Isn't that a cute word? Tittle, tittle, tittle. Anyway, that's it. Glue that sucker down. And then that same die set has the word there that you can cut out. So I went ahead and just swinked on some of the light brown ink, die cut it, and now I'm using my glue. Oh, this glue also goes on white and dries completely clear. FYI, in case you didn't know that. So the there is a little hidden. It's hard to see, but it's there. That was a pun. But I am going to go in. I didn't like the white halo in the middle, so I'm going to go in with some goldenrod here, and I'm just going to see if I can, you know, add a little bit more color to the center. And doing that little step, I can notice that there a little bit more. So here's, look at this finished card. Oh, isn't that cute? Again, universal. You can use that with any colors for any season. Same with the forest layering stamp set. So here's how I glue my background panels on. Again, told you, use the same glue. You can go ahead and cut your card panel down to 4 by 5 1/4, and you can glue it down in the middle and you'll get that nice little border. Here, I decided I only wanted a border to the left and the right, so I'm only going to take off 1/4 inch from the side. I'm not messing with the height of the card, so I just took off 1/4 inch. Then I'll go ahead and glue that down, but I'll center it, and then I'll have some of that craft cardstock background peeking through just on the left and the right-hand side. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Now, do not forget, I do have a free workbook for you, 3 must-try fall color palettes for your fall cards. I've even included some suggested ink colors from Catherine Pooler that goes with the color palette that I put together. It's completely free. It's going to get you super inspired to create your fall cards. So I've got that for you down below. There's a link right in the description. Grab it. It'll be sent right to you for free. And here's all my fall cards. You know, it's still hot here. I can still go swimming in the pool, but I am channeling fall. I'm channeling the leaves, the first leaf to fall from my tree. I'm totally waiting for it. What's your favorite season? Did you have a favorite card? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.